Yes, my bro.
How you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm good. This is probably the earliest I've ever done like a remote thing so far, man. But I appreciate your time, man. So I was
Early
willing to
to
do it.
catch as a worm, dude.
Well, I haven't caught that many worms. Let's be honest, over my years, because I'm always
That's a
late
good
for
thing.
everything.
You should put that on your hinge. That's a really great bio. I've not caught many worms.
Well, mine is the human teddy bear at the moment, but I might change that later. See how I feel, man.
Yeah, I think you need to, you need to stress, you need to emphasize your manliness because, human grizzly bear more like, am I right?
Only in the beard, though, to be honest. But
Yeah,
yeah.
man, the trim actually, a lot of people have shaved off their hair, but I feel like it quite suits you, actually, I gotta say.
Thank you. I really
Have you been to
appreciate.
the barbers or did you do that yourself?
This is gonna shock you. I did it. I did this myself.
That's actually decent because you've got like a little bit of shape across
Yeah.
the top. So yeah, I'm pretty impressed by that.
Thank you, man. Like it's been like 3 years since I've been to a barber last, and I
Mm,
thought I've got the clippers, I've got the blade, I've got like all the the cleaning equipment with it. So I thought I
mm,
might as well just make use of it.
So you haven't been to the barbers for 3 years
Yes.
because you always do your hair.
Yeah. I always do
Oh,
my hair
fine,
like
fine.
so. The way I do it is like I'll shave it bald completely,
Mm,
then I'll allow it to grow, and then I'll do like lines on.
okay,
And then
I
when I'm
see. Okay.
ready, and I'll repeat the process. So basically, I'm saving a lot of money doing that.
Yeah, bro, trust me, you are. Do you know what I mean? I need to get onto that so I can freaking pay my rent.
Well, you probably would be doing that, man. Um, bro, like I genuinely miss you, man. It's been a long time. I think the last time I saw you wasn't it Rebecca Judge's birthday party?
Yeah, that was probably right. That was what last year.
Yeah, it was. I
And
think it was.
I bumped into you at Thorpe Park as well. I think for Dino's event with Boohoo Man. Remember that?
Yes, yes, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
Mm.
That's right. Because I was with Gully and my other mate with him at the time.
Mm.
Yeah, like that's mad. I almost forgot about that because there's so many things that we've done together. Like for those that don't know, like we've previously worked together on projects on the channel, and what I find beautiful is now that you're on the other side of things, where like you're the man. You know what I mean? You were up there, bro.
Oh man, no, I appreciate that. Thank you, man. And look, I mean, is this? Are we recording this right now?
Yes.
Oh, okay, cool. No, I didn't
No,
get
we
the.
just we just go straight in, man.
This is
Like
what I was thinking. I was like, oh man, this is all good stuff because it doesn't have the recording logo and what I'm
no, because I'm using another program for this.
um. All right, well, cool. Let me pick up from what I was saying. So I feel like amongst my friends, there might be a perception that I've become more scarce, but
Mm,
actually, it's because I just have so much. I work so much,
mm,
not always for brands or for actual clients, but just I can spend days in just this hole of ideas and
mm,
come out with nothing.
mm,
And I even say to my close friends, my really close friends and my family, um, you know, if I'm not working,
mm,
I'm not seeing anyone either because by the
mm.
time my brain's that exhausted, the only thing I have the energy to do is like play video games because I don't have to interact with anybody. Like all of my energy is going out into this kind of creative expression and being on camera and putting energy out there. And it does leave me quite empty for the people who do deserve my attention and who I do owe, you know, my friendship and kind of repaying all of their kindness and stuff. So I'm fully aware that I'm a terrible friend. The blessing amidst all these blessings, I realize that I have become, a terrible friend and a terrible brother and son. And that is, I guess, that is one of the things that they don't tell you about when things start to kick off.
Mm.
You have to sacrifice something. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
of course.
So that's what it is, man. But I still, for anyone who doesn't know, Joel allowed me on the channel when I was really trying to pursue being a presenter. And he saw me in his inbox and he thought, oh, sounds like a deliciously attractive young girl. Obviously, I then rocked up and was like, oh, okay. But he still gave me a chance. And
Yeah.
we red carpet premieres and stuff together. So You really helped me get a lot of screen time and work on my presenting. So I owe you for that, and I'm very grateful for that.
Do you know what? I flip it back on you. Like, I'm grateful for you even like replying to my emails, you know, in the first place when it came to that. Like, you know, I was of course attracted to your erotic eyebrows, so you put on your Instagram, and that's what caught me to you. But nah, like we've done. I haven't realized that we've done actually quite a fair bit together as far as projects on the channel. Like, I mean, one, like I've enjoyed them all working with you, but one that sticks out to me was when we covered Laid in America with KSI.
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
That was so much fun, bro. Like, you know what I mean? And I think like, you know, and I think from the very beginning, like from when we met and even beforehand, like there was always that thing about you where something special was with you. I already knew that. I figured this from the get-go, even before like I had the chance to meet you properly and seeing your show reel. So, you know, and where it's got you to now, like, you know, your talents keep continuing, bro.
Oh, thank you, man. You know, it's crazy when people say that. I never. It's always hard for me to know whether they, you know, do people really feel like that when they meet me, or is it one of those things where you're like, oh yeah, you know, we get on, and then when a person does well, you then think, oh, actually, maybe there was something I noticed about them. So it's a really weird thing to hear. Also, a very lovely compliment to hear, but it's almost like, I don't know, man. It's crazy to think that, because I don't think I'm that different, really. I know I'm very peculiar. Like I know I'm very odd. You know,
But everyone
you know,
has
I've
their
grown
odd
up in
days.
Zimbabwe.
Everyone has their odd
Yeah,
moments, though.
yeah, exactly. Like I've grown up in Zimbabwe, then I've moved to Norwich, Sheffield, Birmingham, London. There's things, there's aspects of the culture I do know and stuff I'm completely clueless about. So I definitely know that I leave an impression because people are like, is that guy, what is it? Do you know what I mean? But it's been really lovely hearing how people have had faith from the beginning. And a lot of the time I didn't know that because they only tell me now. But you know, that's always really special. And I'd say,
Yeah, but you know what? I've always, you know, like every time we've gone to like events together, I always let you know, like, one, I'm appreciative of your time. Two, I'm glad that, you know what I mean, you, yeah, and the thing is like every time I've worked with someone and they go on the red carpet, and especially you, when you've done like your questions and the way you put them together, I'm just like, he's got it in the bag. I don't even need to tell him. Like, some people need direction, but like from the get go, you never needed it because all you've told me is what ideas you've had, and then you literally just gone, you know what, gone with it, and I'm like, you know what, I'm happy to even put it up. I'm not going to contest it or question it.
you know, this isn't even an interview. I've just paid you a tenner before this just to say nice things about me.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm donating it directly to your OnlyFans. So
yeah, I mean, he's already put the deposit of £5, and then
yeah,
he'll give me the £5 later,
yeah.
man.
You don't want to know where I swipe the card. I'll say that much. But look, Joe, what I'll say is that
Yeah.
uh, I appreciate I appreciate that you noticed my approach to questions on the red carpet and stuff, and I'm appreciative that that showed through because, you know, an important part of my journey was working in TV before being allowed to be a presenter. So for example, when I was working with you, I was working in TV for music, which
Yeah.
was Channel 4's music channel, used to be T4, now probably going to be E4. But I wanted to be on screen there because that was national television.
Yeah.
And yet they were going, look, you know, you got to work your way up. You've got to get more followers, this, that, and the other. I was working as a producer there, and I was writing questions for presenters to do in interviews with, you know, film stars or on red carpets, on telly. So, you know, when you get to sit back and watch what happens when my questions get actually put on TV, are they interesting? Am I then watching that interview going, oh, this is amazing? Or does it feel, you know, does it fall flat? Having that training at the time felt like, oh, no one wants me to be a presenter. This sucks. But actually, I realized that's what helped me to, you know, that's what helped me learn how to be a presenter without taking the flack for when it flopped. Do you know what I mean? So the real shorthand of what I'm saying is that you just got to try and take whatever is happening in your journey here and now and use it as a training ground for when you hit the big time. Because when you hit the big time, which I'm not saying I have, but when you have hit the big time, mistakes hit harder. You know? Whereas when you're doing it when you're writing a script in a stuffy little office,
Mm.
no one knows that, you know, Munya Chawawa was sat at Microsoft Word at 7 p.m. on a Tuesday. They just go straight to the presenter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear that, and obviously, you know, the journey is always the ongoing thing, you know. So it's not like you know, when people, because a lot of people have assumed that, you know, you're at this point now, you've made it. You know what I mean? You're up there with the big dogs and stuff like that. But I understand what you say in terms of like there's always room for improvement, development. You know, you're always building on character work as well,
Mm.
and everything. So, you know, as much, because from an outside perspective, you've made it. You know what I mean?
Mm.
But for people that, you know, people like us that are creatives and understand the level where we're going at, like it takes time, and there's a lot of room to like to further grow as well.
Definitely. And it's a really funny phrase saying, you know, a person's made it, because you think to yourself, okay, well, if I've made it, then what has John Boyega done? Because
Mm,
he is in a film that's been seen across every continent.
mm,
Millions, maybe even, who knows, a billion people might have seen that film.
mm,
He's got X amount of million followers. So you think, okay, cool. So maybe I'll have made it when I get to that level.
mm,
So let's say you're in let's say you're in the next Star Wars, and then you get the 1.7 million followers, whatever, and
mm,
then you go, but what about Leonardo DiCaprio? Because he's been in about 60 films that 1 billion people have seen, and
mm,
he's got an Oscar, and he's got this, that, and the other. And you go, maybe I'll work up to that. So I am very cautious of um, sort of saying to myself, "Oh, you've not made it until dot dot dot," because ultimately you could be saying that forever.
mm.
Because even if you get to Leonardo DiCaprio level, you still ain't got as many followers as Kylie Jenner. So
True.
I think you have to set your own "I made it" point. You
Yeah.
know, what does that mean to you? And for me, it just meant making some content that people don't necessarily need to. You know, I don't want to be a celeb. I'm not interested in people going through my bins. But to leave a piece of work on the internet or on telly or somewhere
Mm,
that people can always go back to, and it's always enjoyable.
mm,
That was something I always wanted to do. And I
mm,
feel like the fire in the booth is one of those things. And I feel like a couple of my sketches might be up there as well. But I feel like if I can get a TV show in there and maybe a Netflix show, maybe some sort of real music, then I can retire happy, you
mm,
know? And for you as well, I don't know what your goals are for the channel, because you've been working so hard for so long.
mm.
And I feel like, you know, you're not a TMZ, because you're not, you know, you're not running after Idris Elba on an electric scooter
Do
trying
you
to
know what?
find out.
I'd be too cautious in you know,
Yeah.
doing that in the fear of getting punched in the face.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like you've got a little bit more kind of dignity than sort of you know, tabloid journalism. But I would still say that you've done some incredible stuff. Like, you've interviewed some really big names. You've done some great interviews. You are multi-skilled. You can edit, you can film, you can interview. So I would just stress that, you know, for you to say I've made it, I could say that back to you, but only because, you know, we're not sharing the same goals.
Mm,
So, you know, I just
because
want you to big yourself up as well. Do you know what I mean?
appreciate that, man. I know, you know, we could go about all day in terms of compliments, but
Yeah, we could.
let's get
Like a
into the
date.
press taxes of
Everyone's watching
everything.
us have a date, basically.
Well, yeah, like, well, I'll pay for that too. So, I mean, for lockdown, like, you know, it seems like for you, it's been business as usual. You know, like a lot of people have been taking the things differently as far as this time period. Like, how mentally have you been able to cope with all of it? Being able to just do business as usual with the sketches, the comedy. Like, you know, how have you been able to, you know, keep mentally stable?
Well, you know, it's a great question, and I feel like, as I've said in a couple of previous interviews, I did feel that there was this expectation on creators
Mm,
to create at a time when we needed them.
mm,
It was kind of like, you know, you say you're a comedian, you say you're an entertainer, you say that you're a vlogger. Well, I'm at home now, and I've got
mm,
time on my hands, so where's the content?
yeah.
But I never really felt like there was that pause for creators, whereas everyone else might have been like, oh man, work slowed down, or I've been furloughed, or I get to work from home, therefore I'm not as busy. For me, I was like, I've got to take this time to grow. I've got to take this time to be on everyone's timelines at all times, and to make the most of people being around to watch content. So, I was thinking about the key things that were happening. I was like, okay, cool. Everyone's doing home workouts. So let's bring out Johnny Oliver and he can do his home workout. Everyone's talking about staying in. Craig David has a song called Feel Me and it kind of sounds like staying in. So I'll do that. And, Unknown P, everyone's working from home. What about if you were working from home and Unknown P was working with different artists remotely? So I just let my brain go wild. And I did struggle at some points to be like, oh God, there's so much pressure and I don't know where I'm getting my inspiration from. But 2020 has been so wild that it has always given us something to talk about. So that is the silver lining on the patty for me.
Yeah, well, loads of linings in there for sure. Like, with the patties, and it's tasty as well. So you've got tasty content out there. And of course with the sketches I wanted to get into because, like, I saw the first tease of when you did the memes worries challenge. I think it was the Delhi Alley challenge. It was off the back of that, and you had those red glasses on, and I thought, yeah, that's what birthed DJ Munya, which secretly I know a lot of people's favorites are like Unknown P, but for me, like, DJ Munya is up there.
Yeah, DJ Munya is a funny one because it was really like the character was meant to be this over-the-top radio DJ who was meant to play Charlie Sloth. And for some reason, I spent ages in my friend's room trying out different accents. And then in the end, it was like, okay, let's try and make it a bit Sheffieldy, a bit Bradfordy. But that exact accent belonged to another YouTuber called Grade A Under A.
I've heard of that.
I'd never heard of.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, and I never heard of him. And I thought, oh, maybe he's a rapper or something. Because rappers love putting a word and then a letter, don't they? That's like the standard rap name generator. But anyway, when I went onto this guy's channel, although he hadn't uploaded in ages, the voice was quite similar. It was definitely not the same, but I thought, look, I hate it when people copy my work. I would hate for him to think I'm doing that. So let me just retire DJ Munya. And I know a lot of people might, well, when I say a lot of people, I know that you may be gutted about that, but sometimes you just gotta make sure you're not treading on toes. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because it's funny, like you're saying about treading on toes, because obviously Unknown P, like, and eventually what's beautiful is that you've actually done a project together, like the videos out there. So when you came up with Unknown P, like when Unknown P was born, like was it intention for you to be almost not like a direct parody to Unknown T, but with similarities, but with a comedy twist to it?
Well, I didn't know a lot about Unknown T other than that he had a song that everyone was talking about.
Yeah.
And so it felt like if you're going to make a character who is a drill rapper, it should reference the biggest drill song that people are talking about. That's why I said Unknown P. I don't think I knew that much about drill. I didn't know. I only relatively lately, came into knowing Dig Dat and Digga D and A-Trap and all these guys.
Yeah.
Before that, everyone was still a bit unsure about drill. Remember that before that, people were saying drill will never chart. Unknown T, Homerton B changed that. So he was what I knew about drill. And I thought, well, that's a good reference point. Obviously, I then became entwined with him by sending shots for him.
Yeah.
Because
some of the shots were funny, man. I was thinking, like, it's a matter of time until Unknown T sees this, and it's either gonna go one way or the other. Like, did you know in your heart that it was gonna be like, this was, lighthearted, it's not to offend, and I mean, it's just, if Unknown T were to see this, it's just all in good fun and no offense taken.
At that point, I didn't even, I had probably 6,000 followers or something.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, he's never going to see this. But from the get-go, I've had several conversations with him, and from the get-go, he saw it and he liked it because he sees it as promotion for him, which is true.
Makes sense, yeah.
If people are going, who's Unknown? If people are going, oh, Unknown P, who's Unknown T, or they're going, oh, this is Unknown P, let's see if Unknown T said anything. So there's constantly this cross-visiting between the platforms. But, every time I've seen Unknown T, who, by the way, is a very pleasant guy. He's very warm, very friendly. When we made our sketch together, he was on time. He was on form, an absolute dream to work with. And I've worked with a few artists now. he is definitely up there in the top three, just for just likability and stuff. So my point was, he has always been very grateful to me. Actually, when I've met him, he's always said thank you to me, which I find so strange because I should be saying thank you to him.
Yeah, because it's the other
And I
way
am
around. Like, you know what I mean? You're
exactly,
pushing it out there on your side.
exactly. So the fact that he not only kind of backs what I've been doing, but also has thanked me for it makes me think, this is just, you know, I can't fault the guy in terms of his open-mindedness to creativity, in understanding that the creative process is sometimes things get reworked and reshaped and then put out into the universe, into the entertainment sphere, and he's just like, cool, I'm cool with that. So I'm very grateful to him for that.
And obviously that's led you to that's led you to so many things. I mean, being on OP, you've gone on a fire in a booth, which apparently you've been teasing Charlie that there might be a second one from when he reposted your recent video. You've been on stage on Fire in the Park, like loads of people. That must have been an experience. And obviously collaborating with artists. One of the notable ones I think I remember seeing was when you were in studio with Big Nasty. Collaborate with Unknown obviously. Like, how does your mind work to be able to go, like, to keep up with the consistency, to build more content and be on the pulse all the time, because you just churn out content all the time? And it's like, by the time I've watched the news, for example, like 5-10 minutes later, you've already done like a sketch, and I'm like, fuck, you're quick.
I've heard that phrase before. You know what it is?
That's what she said. No,
ultimately, I am making 60 seconds of content, and my mind feels very sharp. It's been trained very well for a long time to react to things. This is what I was doing when I was working in TV, writing scripts. And I'm just going to use my brain when it's in its prime. I don't have an excuse to be lazy. Now I do this full time. I could make a video every day, if I really needed to, but I actually choose to make 2 a week just for the sake of, not oversaturating things. But, really, there's no excuse. If you want to be the best, you have to do that. It's not an option.
Yeah.
If you want to be the best, if you say all of these things in your head about who you want to be and what you want to achieve, you have to be willing to put in the work. And it does mean waking up early. It does mean, like, I skip a lot of meals, and I cancel a lot of things just to get a video out. But I'm just trying to build something that when I have done that thing, if that thing is a Netflix show or whatever, then I can retire and I can just have a life. So, if you ever speak to Sideman, who is another creator that I've worked with, who is, fantastic in his own right.
I mean, he's doing so sick right now with ZZ Mills, like with their collaboration.
Yeah, man, Sideman's fantastic. He has said to me a few times, and I'm not sure if it's public knowledge, so forgive me for spilling your secrets if I have, bro. But he said to me, I don't want to do this forever. I want to retire. I want to make my money and do some great things, and then I want to retire. No, I don't want to do this forever. And I completely understand that, because in England, realistically, if they can make you work forever. They can make you skip holidays, they can make you work overtime in the knowledge that you're doing it for something, but you ain't doing it for anything.
Yep.
So for me, I'm just like, cool, I feel sharp, I feel energized, I'm going to use that whilst I have it, and then I'm going to relax.
Has there
So that's the reason.
Has there ever been a sketch that you've done where someone has reacted that you didn't expect that they would react? Like, is there a known person out there? Because you get like reactions from people all the time, and it's notable on your Insta stories when you do them. Has there been someone that you didn't expect would react to it? I think, raw, I didn't know this person would react to my videos.
Yeah, so who have I had? I've had people like Vinny Jones, which was weird.
Wow.
Didn't even follow me, just like commented, "Oh, great stuff."
Yeah.
So Vinny Jones, I've had people like, John Boyega posting my stuff is pretty crazy. Like tweeting my stuff and putting it in his story. People like Dermot O'Leary, Claudia Winkleman, members of Little Mix, the guy from Thundercat, which is a band I really like, or like a musician I love.
Yeah.
Mo the comedian was pretty cool when he kind of co-signed what I was doing and said, look, this guy, he's on something.
Yeah.
So I feel like there is a list somewhere. I don't quite know where it is, but most of the people I would ever dream of seeing and acknowledging my content have,
Mm.
and I'm really I'm flattered by that, and I think it's just so crazy to think that I moved to London. I was living in like a little coffin room. I was a no one. I had
Yeah.
nothing, and you can definitely create something if you have that. If you just have the vision to do that.
Mm. Well, there's a few more points I wanted to bring up because I want to be respectful of your time because I know like your day is just like your day is just beginning and
Yeah,
then
mate, I'm missing Pilates for this. Come on.
well, I'll get to your Pilates soon, man. Will you ever go back into doing stand up? Because I know there was a time that you actually did a period of doing that.
So yeah, I will. I'm not a stand-up comedian, but I'm going to try it.
Mm,
All being well, there'll be some live shows this year, actually, at the end of the year in November,
mm,
which I've done no planning for. So at the moment, God knows what's going to happen in those. I'll probably just watch some of Mo the comedian stuff on Netflix and just repeat his jokes and
mm.
hope no one notices. But no, in November there will be a live show, hopefully, and if not because of COVID, then next year. But I am looking to get into the live performance space.
Okay. During your time, like doing radio and presenting, who has been who's been your favorite person you've ever interviewed so far?
My favorite person to interview was, I think, oh, well, I did. Okay, so the first time I ever met, and I know that you hate me for this, but because we both love wrestling. But when I met John Cena
I knew
once,
you was going to say this. I knew
and he
it.
was
I
a
knew
bit
it.
stush. He was a bit stush actually the first time I met him, and I thought, oh well, at least I got to meet him.
Yeah.
His hands were like freaking frying pans, by the way. But anyway, when a few months later, he came back to England for a film.
Yeah.
And I was sat in the corner of the interview room, and he was like, "Oh, hey man, like, hey, how you doing? When's this guy going to be interviewing me? When's this guy going to interview me?" And there was like three people before me, and I was like, "Wow, he remembers my name." That was surreal, man. Because I had that John Cena, I had the John Cena action figure. I had him on the
Wow.
front of the SmackDown versus Raw 2006 PS2 game.
Yeah, yeah. I've
I
got that as
watched,
well. I've got. I went up to like 2007, and then I kind of
yeah,
stopped. But yeah.
yeah. 2006 was peak SmackDown versus Raw, but
Yeah.
you know, that was just that was amazing. And
Mm,
the interview, he's quite strange in interviews, I'd say, but
yeah.
it was still a surreal experience
Mm,
having lived in Zimbabwe, a million miles away from this man. Never in my wildest dreams thinking that from that tiny pocket of the world to
mm,
his huge reach, films, music, sports, that our world would ever collide.
mm.
But they did, and I think that's what makes it my favorite. Just again, people always say stuff like, "Oh, you can achieve your dream," blah blah blah, and people go, "That's a cliche. That's a cliche." But
Yeah.
I don't know when I'm actually going to start acknowledging that those statements are kind of true, because sometimes it feels like all of the things that I really thought about when I was a kid have happened at some point in my life. So
Mm.
definitely there's something to be said about, positive thinking and, just having dreams. Do you know what I mean?
No,
And
definitely.
I would spin the question back to you and say, who's the most spectacular person you've ever interviewed? But then, hey,
Yeah.
what's happening on this Zoom call? I mean, look, you're living your dream right now, so you don't have to
I
say it,
actually
bro. You don't
am.
have to say it. You
I
don't have to
actually
say it.
am. So you're definitely up there on my top five, man, for sure. And I just wanted to briefly get your thoughts because obviously the past couple of months have been crazy. Like the first thing was going through COVID as a starting point. Then obviously with everything going on with like the BLM protests, because I know you've been quite active in talking about that too.
Mhm.
And then obviously the speaking out stuff that's going on at the moment. Like how, if any of those things that impacted you
Mhm.
in terms of like what's going on at the moment, because you're able to even put content out as far as the current goings on. So how do you
Mm.
feel about what's going on right now?
I think it's a real shame that, well, it's two-sided really, because it was a really tough 2 weeks during the murder of George Floyd,
Mm,
and it did affect everyone around me. It affected even me, and I try to stay really positive.
mm,
It did affect me, and I am happy, however, that it brought out this huge. I've never seen a conversation like this in my lifetime.
Mm,
I've never seen images on the news of people protesting who are from all walks of life, but are saying the words Black Lives Matter.
mm,
That was pretty special for me to see, and it did give me some hope. Um, I think it also highlighted that we have work still to do.
100%.
I think that, I don't know if the world will ever change the way that we want it to change,
I think it's
but
like a long fight going forward.
but if it makes people more conscious about changing the circles that they are in,
Mm,
then that's a good enough change for me.
yeah.
If I can positively influence my friends and my family,
Mm,
and my friends are doing the same, then it means that all the people I will ever encounter are on the same page when it comes to Black Lives Matter and racism is wrong.
mm,
I can't be out in Uzbekistan making people chant Black Lives Matter.
mm,
I can't be in a village in New Zealand doing that because just my life doesn't allow me to do that. But if I
mm,
can cause a little shockwave
mm,
in my circle, I think that's something that's a more achievable thing.
mm.
And if I manage to do that, then at least, although I know the world might not have changed, the
Yeah.
small corner of it that I live in is a little bit brighter.
It's always the small changes because, like, start with your circle, and then if it spreads to other people, to other people, to other people, then it's kind of like a progress in itself, like to just keep going until hopefully eventually, you know, less people are, coming across as extreme or racist or whatever
Mm,
you want to call it, man. But
mm.
no, I'm glad I got your views on that. I've just got a few fan questions because they would kill
Yeah,
me
man, sure.
if they would kill me if I didn't get my fan questions in, man.
Mhm.
So I've got one of my guys, Joel. He wanted to ask. I think this is directly related to Unknown P. Ask
Mm.
if he's related to Master P or P Money.
I don't know who Master P is. He sounds like a Harry Potter character. If he's a legend in the grime scene, I'm so sorry. This just shows you I grew up in a tiny village in Norfolk.
Right,
But P Money's
Master P is like one of the well, he's like a hip hop. He's a rapper like from the 90s, like an American hip hop rapper. Like, I'm surprised you didn't know who Master P was.
maybe I do. Maybe I have him on Spotify, but maybe I just
Maybe,
didn't.
yeah.
Maybe I blocked out the name Master P because it was just too close to home for me as a name too. Nah, but Master P, I'm not too well versed with, but P Money I think is legendary, and I used to watch his DJ Target. No, was it DJ Target? No, I used to watch his Mr. Jam freestyle, which was about 10 minutes long, and there's this bit in it where he's rapping each letter of the alphabet and then every number between 1 and 12. And I always used to watch that, and I definitely feel like it probably influenced my rhyme scheme, just the way he was on the beat, the way that he absolutely ate that beat. So
Hmm.
yeah, man, P Money's legend. I would love to work with him. I did reach out to him before. I got the little scene in the bottom right corner of the DMs, but I'm sure he's just working up the courage to reply.
Cool, man. And one of our friends on the channel, Neha, she wanted to ask, how long does it take you to think of an idea, execute it, edit it, and get out? What's the turnaround in it as he gets fresh things out so fast?
Probably half a day, really,
Mm,
depending on when the story breaks. If the story breaks really quickly, it's just like quick. Okay, think of jokes. Probably about an hour to film, an hour to edit, about 17 hours to subtitle, and then it goes out. So yeah, I'm getting better, but I'd say maybe half a day.
okay, wow. So that's really fast. I normally, when it comes to interviews, it's like, oh yeah, I've done this. I'll probably wait till about a couple of days and then I'll put it out. Whereas you, it's just like instant. It's like, yo, like I need to get my brain into thinking, nah, I can maybe do it a little bit faster in terms of turnarounds, man.
Well, you like to let it marinate and really just let
Yeah, I
it.
know. It's like a barbecue. You just need to, like, put the sauce on it, let it simmer for a bit, and then
Mhm.
like bring it out there, man. But
So
like, Munya, I really do appreciate your time. Thank you so much,
no,
bro.
thank you.
Like,
No, I appreciate it. It's
yeah,
great. It
man.
took me so long. I do apologize, and I still have a lot of love and gratitude for you.
And same to you, brother. Like, and I'm assuming more sketches. I'm assuming more online shows are coming. Obviously, keeping your erotic eyebrows.
Yeah.
Always, never get rid of those.
Oh no.
So what's the rest of 2020 looking like for you? It still in unpredictable times, but what are you looking to do next, man?
Well, I don't really know what I can do because of what will happen in terms of being back in lockdown and stuff. But I think it's realistic to say that I'd like to have a TV show out before the end of the year,
Mm-hmm.
and some music out, and yeah, I think the best is yet to come. It's
Yeah.
already been the best year of my life, but I feel like I'm in a state of mind where I'm ready for it to like double before the end of the year hits. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
Mhm.
And for me, like, you know, for Unknown P, like there's a few people that stand out to mind that you know, it would be sick if he managed to, you know, go into war with. That's like White Yardie comes to mind, and also
Mm.
KSI comes to mind.
Yeah, man. Look, I mean, KSI, he doesn't need to war anyone because the guy's fucking on his way to being a billionaire. But if he's up for it, then you know, if Logan Paul can have a turn, I deserve one as well because come on, I mean,
Is that a challenge to him? Are you
KSI.
challenging him?
Oh yeah, I mean, look, listen, if you want the soundbite, I'll challenge KSI, but I guarantee you, he's probably watching about 600,000 other videos of people calling him out than a guy resting his head on some dirty grey headboard in a yellow t-shirt going, "Oh, I want a shot at you, KSI." But we've already met him, and I'm pretty
Yes,
sure
yes,
that
of
that
course.
is his favorite interview he's ever done.
Yeah, yeah, I believe so. And just and quick final thing as well. Like, what I've seen is really beautiful with this situation. Like with, you know, the presenting leading up to the sketches, is that you. There was one point in time before I met you actually that I remember you actually covered the. Was it? Did you actually cover the Brit Awards before you met me?
Yeah. Mhm.
So what's beautiful about that is that, you know, you're on the come up, and you know, obviously you're on the carpet, but you know, not as in a stronger position. But now 2020, you're working for the Brits, and that
Mm.
Fendi suit top, bro. Bro, did you get to keep the suit top, or was it
Oh no, it went back the next. No, it went back the next day, bro. That was a rental. I tell you what, I didn't drink anything just so I could get my full refund back. So do not be fooled by the drip. That was on full
yeah,
rental. As will any car you ever see me in be.
yeah,
You know,
and
I ain't gonna try and flex on him because I know. Trust me, I am a stingy guy. I have a tight ass,
yeah,
and I
same.
will get every penny back.
Yeah, yeah. Because like, any damages, listen, I can't afford to pay for those damages, and it, and the Brits must have been amazing for you as well, man. Because like, you know, for me seeing that, I thought, yeah, I'm proud of you, bro. Like all the sketches you've done, but the Brits was another one because you know you got to talk to so many like top names, and what I noticed is that you've always maintained Munya Chawawa. You know, sometimes when like you know, sometimes presenters go in a different direction, like when they get to a certain, you've maintained that level of, you are Munya Chihuahua, you are that guy, you know, you are that fun. So, you know, I appreciate that you're still, you know, being able to maintain you, my bro.
Thank you, man. Yeah, I try to be consistent when it comes to being a little bell end on the red carpet. So I've maintained that reputation. Now, man, no, I appreciate you and I thank you
Yeah,
for all
man.
the kind words today and all the questions. And you know, I hope for the 10 of you that watch this, it's been a fulfilling interview. Not because of your channel, but just because look, I think people expect me to do interviews and everyone's going to run to them. But you know, we got a solid 10 people who will definitely watch this. So shout out Nan, shout out Mum. Big up Media Spotlight UK. Subscribe, goddammit, or I will
thank,
find you
thank
and I
you.
will make a sketch on your hairline. So do it now.
Do it, please. If you could tell our audience then where they can catch you on all the socials, the floor is
Yeah.
yours, my man.
So Munya Chawawa, Munya or just type in Unknown P and I'll see you there.
All right. Bless. It's been
All
J
right, buddy.
Billz. It's been a pleasure, man. And you know, let's link up like properly at some point, man. I
Yeah,
know you're a
man.
busy
Sure.
guy, but let's set a date sometime or another when, well, hopefully when this COVID shit is over.
Yeah, man.
Let's catch up, man.
100%, my guy.
All
Cool.
right, cool,
All right,
man.
man. Have a sick day.
All right, peace out to you, man.
Peace, bro.
Love you,
Bye, bye.
bro.